Alright, so today just some simple stuff. I'm going to try to start by cleaning the engine bay by doing two things. One, making an intake, because the intake that's on this thing is hideous. I do have half the stock airbox. It'd be more money to actually buy all the rest of the components to fit the stock airbox in here. Meanwhile, it will just come out eventually at some point in this car, so I'll be okay just making an intake. Number two is just kind of making a catch can, which will also get rid of some of the weirdness that he did here, and eventually for future boosts for who knows how long down the road, but that will you know, kind of suffice for that part. So here's the janky intake thing he's got going on. Like when I bought it, this is how it was. You can see this, which will go to a catch can. Right now it's just kind of have a little filter there, and it looks like the other owner broke it off there and just zip tied it there. So I think what I'm going to do is run a line from here to a catch can, and running from the stock PVC instead of going back into the intake manifold, just kind of coming through here, and we'll mount the catch can somewhere around over here, maybe bolt it to these two, I don't know. But first we're going to get to making the intake arm, and then I'm going to just probably take some simple green and just wipe everything down. There are some things that are not here that I'm not sure what they go to, so if anybody does know what they go to, just leave a comment so I'm aware. I'm just kind of browsing to see what stuff. I know the cruise control goes there, so that'll be bought at a later date. And I think I'm going to be buying the battery fuse box, black little like cover that goes over there. So all right, so let's get started. All right, so here's what we're probably going to have to use. So with the intake already off, this is just some generic 3-inch filter. This is a 3/4 inch tube, which is what's going to be kind of just welded somewhere on here for that air pump line to get onto. I bought I already have one of these, a 3-inch to 2 3/4 inch coupler, and this is just a 93-inch pipe. Got a box of all kinds of pipe. I have 2.5-inch aluminum, and I've had 3-inch stainless. I did not have 3-inch aluminum, but it's actually not as expensive as many may think, and I'll end up using it at some point on somebody else's car or something. Honestly, just this 90 right here is pretty close. It definitely needs to be cut down. Obviously the filter can't be put here, but it'd be nice if the filter just ran, you know, over there. So let's just kind of mark this. We'll give us a little cut. Some little diverge tool here, and just take it to the inside. All right, so here it is. Just basically still was just a 90. Just cut it down to it fits, and filter's right there. I just don't know if I want the fan just blowing directly onto it. So I didn't film it, but I cut 2 pie cuts here, relatively on the larger side, standard 7.5 degree angles. So the pipe's going to come down like this. I'm going to gently pick it back up just a little bit, and then I've got another angle cut on the actual pipe here, which when you made them kind of together like so, if this is in the camera, it should gently, nicely sit right about there. It's not hitting anything. It's out of the way of the actual fan. All right, so there it is, nice and kind of in this little pocket. So now we got this 3/4 inch tube. See, it fits in that hose nicely. I just need to kind of figure out exactly where's a nice spot for this hose to just kind of attach to. I'd like it if I can go underneath. Not that you're gonna, again, this hose will probably vanish at some point, but. All right, so there it is, welded. Did my 3 pie cuts there. They came out decent. Filter's going to kind of sit there. You can see the hose attaches there pretty well. And I was going to add a brace to it, but right now, like, it's just kind of, just sort of sits there. I might put a little bit of something underneath on that line just so this doesn't rub it. Or I could maybe just pick it up just a little bit and tie something off of it to attach there. I'm not quite sure yet. All right, let's do 7 inches. Alright, so here's one little temp bracket, the idea that I'm spitting here. And so the can is going to kind of maybe sit, this 3-inch pipe looks like it's a little big. I know this is long on purpose for the moment. The idea is maybe kind of sit it out here, and I'll weld this arm to it. Something like that. We'll make the other one real quick and we'll see. Alright, so I cut another piece of material here about the same length as that. And I drew a Sharpie that about in the spot where it would be to cover this entire bracket. So I'm going to bend this one again. I'm going to have to bend these a little bit out, a little bit further. Might be able to get this can just to kind of sit in a little more centered, and I'll tack these to the can, and that'll start the build of the actual bracket to hold the can in. So my precision vise kind of marked the line. All right, so here they are. This one's bent out a little bit further than that one, but once it's wrinkle black, I don't think I'll really notice anything, but I tried to aim to get it kind of centered. It looks like it probably could scoot over a little bit to the left, but I think it'll be all right for now. And to be honest, I don't know if this is going to get the same mounting spots as the Mishimoto Radiator. That's not here yet. This is still the original Honda factory Radiator, but at one point I will get the Mishimoto Radiator. And I do know that I think the original fans can bolt up, so I don't think the mounting points are going to be that far off. So it should be able to be used future. You can see how low it goes, and it should, I'll probably just weld that seam here with the top and the filter, and it should be pretty good. We'll find out. All right, so here's the can that we're going to use. It's 3 inches. The easier option would be to have like a 3 1/4 inch hole saw. I've got up to a 3-inch hole saw, so a 3-inch is going to be perfect though to make my little, basically my little baffle I'm going to put on the inside, but I need a little bit bigger to get the top cap and the bottom cap, which I don't have. I could go buy one, but I'm just trying to use stuff that I already have. So I'm just going to kind of trace a circle. So we've got a circle, and now I'm going to cut this out. My horizontal bandsaw I've turned into a vertical bandsaw as well. I kind of made this plate a while ago for it. Basically made a little bracket here so it kind of sits up at a 90. It's got a little plate now, and it's now a vertical bandsaw. So I'm just going to cut this roughly as close as I can to the circle, and then we're going to finish it up with a sander, but we're going to try to get as close as we can so that way it's easier to weld our cap on. Alright, so it's pretty rough. It's kind of a circle-ish. I'm going to flip it over where I haven't had any marks. I'm just going to kind of lay this out, even it up on here, and then just retrace it. And then I'm going to go to the grinder on the ground or put it up here, whatever, and just basically sand till I hit my blue Sharpie mark. Alright, so here's my top plate I'm going to use. I've got my top that's going to go on like that for the actual breather, the filter itself. I got a 1 1/8 inch hole saw. I'm just going to kind of find the center roughly of this little circle I drilled and got a hole in it. I've just got quite a bit of these dash 10s, so I'm just going to put a dash 10 here on the bottom as a drain. So same concept. I'm going to drill a hole there because I just got hole saws, and this is a 3/4 inch hole. Nice perfect fit there. So you can see this fitting's got like a little recess there for it to kind of sit in, a little shoulder. So we'll stick right to the bottom, and I'll put a little bead around it. So there's probably some better theory to this, but this is what I'm doing. So this is going to be the baffle plate that sits in the center, well not the center, but it's going to be above my AN fittings. So as it fills up with oil, if pressure comes in when it tries to throw it up, it's going to hit this plate first, and this is going to be above the AN fittings again. So as oil comes in, it'll be able to go underneath this. All right, so here's, I already kind of tacked the little baffle plate in there. I've got the 2 brackets kind of sitting there, and I kind of lowered this down enough that this should, granted this will go in between there, but the tape's kind of stop it, and that'll kind of sit like that. And the hood should close. We are going to, I'm going to pull this out, tack these arms to it, and then tack that top assembly together and just kind of see if it does fit. So we've got the intake, the Catchcan made, and we don't have the actual lines yet. So now we're going to clean up this valve cover. I think for now what I'm going to settle on is just, we're going to do wrinkle black and wrinkle black. So pretty self-explanatory. You got some bolts here going around it. Kind of just take them off. The whole valve cover is just going to pop off. All right, so now I've got it laid out here. Everything's off. All sensors are removed. You can either get like, this is aircraft remover. It comes in a spray, or you can buy it like in a paint can here. Definitely do this in a outside area because this is going to stink really bad. Get some kind of brush or something just to kind of brush it on there. All right, so we're going to, masking off the valve cover here. So I just put a piece of tape over it. This is pretty simple sometimes. Just grab a steel hammer, don't get crazy with it, and just lightly tap all the way around the edge. You start to see like a little crease going around it. If you did it right, it should just pull off just like that, and you've got a nice perfect spot. It's pretty much doing that the same thing. Anything that's even an odd shape, it kind of makes it easy. You just kind of conform around to it. All right, so where the stock PVC port is now, I'm going to be putting this. It's a dash 10, and this is half 14 MPT threads. So the hole's already a good size. So I'm just taking a half 14 MPT, Simply threading it in. Alright, so I spray this down with some brake clean now. I'm using the old actual hardware that goes there. Just going to put a little cap over it. And I kind of already started priming this one and sanding it. I'm just going to use some generic Rust-Oleum self-etching primer. Get this lathered up, let it cure once, and then we're going to start putting the render coat on. Alright, so some may think this wasn't a lot done to the engine bay, but I think from where it started when I got the car right now, it looks exceptionally different, and I think it looks different in a way better way. So here we are. So starting from, you know, just simple things like this, just coloring the radiator mounts black. I kind of just try to clean the radiator as much as I can. The radiator probably will change. You know, just cleaning the paint inside the bay. I got the cruise control box from the previous owner. I still need to tweak that to get it to work. But there's the intake system we built. It's just a black, I think it's just a VHT, like roll bar and chassis paint I just used on it. I will probably build some kind of plastic shield system here to kind of mount around it. The AN lines, I apologize, I didn't show you guys how I made them. Tons of tutorials online how to cut AN lines and whatnot. But these are both -10 lines. -10 will fit there. A little tight, but it does fit. Then I ended up using a 90-degree to, you know, fitting inside that hole that we tapped earlier. And the whole valve cover just wrinkle black. There's tons of tutorials on how to paint valve covers too, so I know I kind of skipped through that a little bit. Kind of in a rush for certain things that I'll address in other videos. I also bought this from Honda brand new because the car didn't have one. But overall, I think the bay came out real nice. You know, just kind of plug this PVC, or the port where the PVC kind of went to. All right, so hopefully this kind of helps someone see something on the car maybe that they want to do to theirs, or whatever the case is. I know it's not a lot again, it's just something simple to help clean the bay up. That's not the future of this build. It'll probably be turbocharged at some point in its life. It's just not on the docket at the current moment. So this was things just tidying up the bay, just trying to get the car. I want the car to be as dailyable legitimately as possible. The CRX is dailyable, but again, there's no AC, there's no heat. It is what it is, you know what I mean? So this I want to make just as clean and, you know, keep it on the road. So I do appreciate everybody for watching. If you guys saw anything that maybe stood out that was crazy, I shouldn't have done, or any tips, tricks maybe I'm unaware of, do put them in the comments. I am new to S2000s. I do know the oil situation with AP1s typically going on a track, and this car is not going to be a dedicated track car, but I do intend on seeing it, or I do intend on putting it on a track at some point. So I've read the AP2 valve cover is a little bit better. I know there's a baffle system underneath the valve cover that I could drill some holes in to help oil drop. So if anybody's got any things, more information about that, I mean, I'm all ears for it. We're not there at that moment yet, but I am aware slightly of that from reading on the S2KI forums. So I do appreciate everybody watching this. So if you're an S2K fan, hopefully you enjoy the CRX. If you're a CRX fan, hopefully you like the S2K. I mean, we're both, it's all Honda family here. But I do appreciate everybody for watching. If you guys do have any questions, again, comments, anything, put in the comments below. I love interacting with people. Or if you got something, message me on Instagram. I'm probably a bit faster to respond there than on Facebook Messenger. Other than that, I really do appreciate everybody from watching this. Hopefully soon, maybe one of the next 2000 videos will be in another state. We are moving to New Mexico. So if anybody's in New Mexico again, throw it down in the comments below. I'd like to figure out what the car scene's like out there as much as I can. I'm trying to from Florida. The cold weather is something I'm not going to get used to. It's already cold here right now. It's like 50 degrees and my eyes are watering and whatnot. I'm used to I enjoy the Florida heat and humidity, but can't say enough. So grateful for everybody watching and subscribing and so forth. So if you guys want to follow the build, hit the subscribe button, and can't wait to hear from you guys and see you guys in the next video.